HaKadosh Boker Or. We're just going to mention a very important halacha, which is in Ilchot Netilat Yadayim. In Siman Kuf Nun Chet, Maran brings down in Siv Bet, Yesh mi shomer shim eno ochel ela pacho mikabetza yitol yadav velo yevarech, which means that if a person is going to eat less than a kabetza of bread, so then what happens is that he will do Netilat Yadayim without a beracha. Siv Gimel says, if he's going to eat less than a kezait of bread, some people say he doesn't have to do Netilat Yadayim whatsoever. We know that there's still a machmir tavol baracha, that a person, even if they're not going to eat a kezait, they should still do Netilat Yadayim. However, though, if a person's not going to eat a kezait of bread, so mi'ikar adin does not have to do Netilat Yadayim whatsoever. Now, why is this very, very important? It's very important because you see from here that there's different shiurim, there's different levels. In order for me to make a beracha of hamotzi, even if I'm going to eat a crumb of bread, I make the beracha of hamotzi lechem min haaretz, because the first blessing, which is av hamotzi, there is no requirement of food requirement. The second that you're eating any amount, you make the beracha, just like she'akol. Nobody's going to tell you now if you're only going to take a sip, you don't make a she'akol, right? And we're not talking about that you're tasting. We're talking about you're actually eating or drinking. So here we're talking about that you're eating or drinking. The second that you eat or drink, you're going to make a bracha. So to hamotzi, the second that you take a piece of bread and you want to eat a piece of bread, you make hamotzi lechem min haaretz. To do with birkat hamazon, we know that the birkat hamazon, the minimum requirement was going to be a kezait. That is not going to be doraita, but that's going to be the minimum requirement that the chachamim came and they say that if you eat a kezait of bread, you're going to come and you're going to make birkat hamazon. So that's going to be with already 28 grams of bread. You do birkat hamazon. If you're satiated, whether it means that you're going to eat a lot and you're going to drink and so on and so forth, so therefore becomes birkat hamazon deoraita. But if not, after a kezait, you're already obligated in birkat hamazon, but there the birkat hamazon is going to be derabbanan. After that, there's the concept of Netilat Yadayim. So we know the concept of Netilat Yadayim was only because of that when you're going to come and you're going to touch the food, there was a concept of tumat ochlin. Tumat ochlin, tum'ah, was only decreed upon a kabetza. If it's less than a kabetza, it was not decreed. And therefore, if a person is going to eat the less than a kabetza of bread, he does not do Netilat Yadayim with a beracha. Now, what is very important also is that just like birkat hamazon, a person has to eat the kezait toch kedei achila pras, which means that he has to eat the kezait within the time it takes to eat a half of bread, or what you're talking about, toch kedei achila pras. There's big machlokot in the acharonim exactly how long does this take, kedoch kedei achila pras. If you remember when we were learning in Ilchot Pesach, we brought down that the most stringent opinion was 2 minutes. But after that you had 4 minutes, then you have 5, 6, 9 minutes, even 10 minutes you have. That basically different opinions, what exactly is toch kedei achila pras. So therefore, in order for birkat hamazon, you have to eat the bread within toch kedei achila pras. So too, when you're talking about now doing Netilat Yadayim with a bracha, lechatechila, you have to be machmir, that also that you're eating the bread toch kedei achila pras, the kabetza, in order to do Netilat Yadayim with a bracha. Now, other foods do not combine. Meaning not because you're having a sandwich and with the bread you're having, whether it's going to be tuna, whether it's going to be cold cuts, whether it's going to be anything else, egg, it's going to combine. We're only talking about bread. Bread is the only thing which is here, which is going to count towards the kabetza or towards the kezait. If a person comes and eats a kezait of bread with other foods, he does not say birkat hamazon. The birkat hamazon is only on a kezait of bread. It's not on other things. There is going to be a difference to do with Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. Do we combine other foods to do with kovea seuda? Meaning, we know that if a person has mizonot bread, he makes mizonot. He does not do hamotzi. What happens if he's going to have a meal? So there's the shita of the Gaon Mivilna that the second that a person has a meal, that's it. That he now makes hamotzi. He's not having a large quantity of bread. Doesn't matter. The second that you take a mizonot bread and you're having a meal, you would make hamotzi lechem min haaretz. That is the shita of the Gaon. And the Mishnah brings it down. We do not hold of that. We hold like Shitat Maran, which is also the shita of all the Sfaradim, whether it's Rav Ben Zion Bar Shaul, whether it's going to be the Kaf HaChaim, the Ben Ish Chai, right, Rav Ovadia Yosef, and all the others as well, that no, we need a certain quantity. How much is the quantity? The quantity is going to be 3 kabetzim, even though there's a machloket, whether it's going to be 3 or 4 kabetzim, and therefore try not to get into the machloket. However, though, if you remember, we brought down last time when David Yosef was here, he said that the second that you eat 3 kabetzim, you have sfek lechumra, which means that now you're going to go lechumra, that what's going to happen is that technically Maran is posek, and Yichot Eruvin, that it's 3 kabetzim is already enough, and therefore by 162 grams, if a person is going to come and have mezonot bread, it would already be, especially by pizza and other things, it's going to become hamotzi. So there we are going to combine, right, that according to Ashkenazim, they combine other foods with the bread. We do not combine other foods with the bread, right? So therefore it's very important just to remember that when we're going to do, whether it's Sudash Lishit or we're going to be at home, and sometimes people, they start doing all these diets, right, and they start doing all these things, a person has to be careful that if he's going to be eating less than the 54 grams of bread, which is a kabetzah of bread, he does not do Netilat Yadayim with a beracha, he's going to do Netilat Yadayim without a beracha. Just so that way people should pay attention, in order that they're going to come and they're going to be Yetzirei Chovah, all the shitot. Remember that you are going to be Yetzirei Chovah kezait for achila. So whenever it's written that you have to eat meat on Shabbat, a kezait is enough. If it's written you have to eat fish, so a kezait is enough. There it is enough a kezait, but to do it Netilat Yadayim with a bracha, it's going to be double a kezait, it's going to be a kabetzah, which is going to be 54 grams.